everyone. Welcome back to My Wellness, My Life, where we empower you to achieve optimal health and wellness through natural healing and holistic approaches. I'm Doreen Journey, your certified natural health counselor, and we're here to share tips, success stories, and expert advice to help you live a healthier, happier, and balanced life. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and click the bell icon so you'll never miss an update. Let's get started, shall we?
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. This is Doreen, your certified natural health counselor, and I am very excited today because I have a guest on with me. And actually, she's not a guest, right? She's a family member. She's a member of our group, the Natural Healing for Women. And she has some amazing stories to tell us about healing her body naturally. She's been working with me since about January to heal her body of some debilitating conditions that she was experiencing. She's going to tell us about it. I'm excited to hear about it and just what happened for her. So welcome, Alex. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You are welcome. I'm very excited to have you on today. It's such an honor. It was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure working with you. You're such a vibe, right? You are a whole vibe. And so it's just been a pleasure. You know, the Woman Heal Thyself team and myself, we've just really enjoyed working with you, to help you heal your body. So I'm excited to, hear what you're going to uncover and tell us today. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I want to talk to the ladies that may be coming in to watch this. Now, whether you are watching this live with us while we're on, or you are watching this on replay, please comment, post below. Let us know, how has her story impacted you? Do you have any similarities? Do you have something that you need help to heal your body from? And if you're watching this, after the live, then just, tag replay, or when you put hashtag replay, I'm still learning all this stuff. Is it hashtag replay?
That's what I do.
Okay, whatever it is, just make sure you let us know that you're watching on the replay. But we're just glad that you're joining us today, ladies. So let's get started, Alex, because I know that you are busy. So first of all, I want to say, Alex is an amazing woman. She is a mother to two beautiful children. She is a wife. She is a coach. She helps children or young people that are leaving high school and going on to college or whatever their path is in life. She helps to give them guidance and direction. She has been counseling and working with my son for the last 6 months and just seeing some amazing results. So I say all that to say, this was a very busy sister, okay? But she still took the time out for herself because she understands that you can pour into everybody, but if you don't pour into yourself, you're not going to be any good. Is that right?
No, 100%. You cannot pour from an empty cup.
That's good. Yeah, that's so good. Right. So let's talk about it, Alex. So introduce yourself and share a bit about your health journey before you started working with me.
Sure. So thank you for the beautiful introduction. So I'm 36 right now. I have two babies, 2 and 4 years old. So the house is always moving and always loud. And I'm also an entrepreneur. So I own my own business and I coach, as Doreen explained there. So very, very busy, very full. Previous to meeting Doreen and understanding what she does, I was experiencing a lot of health challenges. So just to name a few, it's always a little weird talking about this, but let's do it. So constipation was something that was always a challenge for me, always, from as far back as I can remember. So That's one. I had something called Raynaud's disease, or syndrome, I guess. So it's like when your hands and your feet get really cold and then start hurting. And it happens in cold weather. They don't know how to fix it. They don't even have medicine for it. They just tell you like, bundle up, bundle up and buck up. So I had that. I also had hip pain on my right side from when when I was pregnant with my first daughter. So we're talking 4 years of hip pain as a result of that pregnancy. And then the real reason why I came to Doreen, why I actually committed to myself, was the challenges I was experiencing with my hormones. So every single cycle was a nightmare. I knew it was coming 2 weeks before it came. I would start getting irritable, borderline like angry, ragey. It was affecting my family. It was affecting me. It was affecting the building of my business because I really couldn't function in those weeks. So those like mood issues plus brain fog like no other. So, I'd sit down to work and I just could not focus, right? So, and I knew it had to do with my hormones because it was cyclical. It was happening every single month right in front of my period. And so, that was the major health challenge and catalyst for me saying, yes, like I need to do something about this because this is not normal. And I don't want it to be like this anymore. So that's when Doreen and I kind of met up and started talking, and she said she could help me. So here we are.
And let's talk about that because I like when you talked about how it was cyclical and you knew basically you could tell that your cycles were coming based on how you were feeling, right? Um, and did you have, there had to be like some anxiety around it, like knowing how you were going to feel. So you said that went on 2 weeks before your cycle, and I'm sure when your cycle came, it wasn't easy. So I can only imagine. So really, you only have 2 weeks out of each month that you're normal,
Really
right?
one, Doreen, right? Because it's 2 weeks before plus the week
And
of the
then the week,
cycle. I
oh
had
my goodness.
one really normal week. Yeah, I mean it was affecting everything. So for example, my mother decided that I should wear a t-shirt when I knew it was coming, and that should have like a wolf on it so that everybody knew. Right? Like
Mm.
it affected everyone. My husband and I had discussed, well, maybe you should like go stay somewhere for a little bit of that time because I got so like he was usually the target,
Refugee.
right? Like let's be honest, he was usually the target. And I love him dearly and he's a beautiful person, but he was the target. Like for whatever reason, he was the one that I could not get, like I just didn't want to be around him. I did not want to be around him. And so we had discussed, if this continues, we love each other, we want to be a family, but maybe it like you need to go somewhere for a week so that we can make this so I'm not hurting your feelings and I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was rough.
That
Yeah.
is so, wow. That is so profound that you're saying that because I can recall, like when you said that, I recall when I was in my early 30s and I met my husband, Kivon's, my youngest son's father, and he asked me to marry him. And I said, I'm going to tell you now, every single month, for some reason, I get to a point where I'm not going to want to be with you. I don't know why. I have no clue why, but it's usually around my cycle. It's always before my cycle, but I know my cycle is coming by how I feel, and I would feel ragey. Like if I'm driving, I would just like I would feel completely like confused and emotional and hitting the steering wheel and everything. And I didn't understand it, just like you didn't understand what was going on with your body, right?
Yep.
And we'll talk. That's a whole nother discussion. But there's usually some type of trauma that has to do around men when when we're dealing with that, right? And I know what mine was. I didn't know that back then, but now, being in this industry, I definitely understand it. And they say whatever traumas that we have, when when you come on your cycle, things like that. With women had issues with men, we usually carry it on into our relationships, right? So, but you know what? I'm so glad, because when I'm listening to you, Alex, now that I've worked with over 2,000 women in the last 10 years, and I've seen this, over and over, maybe not as extreme as you and I had our, cycles prior to healing our bodies, but I've seen some severe things. And most of the women that are now in their late 40s and in their 50s, even into their 60s, have by that time, because they didn't understand and they continued to deal with it, they ended up usually having fibroids, having to have hysterectomies, having breast cancer. There's going to be, because there's an excess of estrogen. Your hormones are not being properly filtered out through your liver. So they're building up in your blood and they're causing all these things. So that makes sense. Here's the Reynard's disease. Here's all these other things starting to happen because you have this buildup of hormones that the liver can't process. And so I'm so glad that at 36 years young, you were able to find out. It's such a blessing that we came across each other's paths. And I could say, listen, sister, I can help you. Oh, I understand. Trust me. You're going to make me cry. I said, listen, sister, I can help you because I was there and I've helped hundreds and hundreds of women like this. And so this has stopped you from having to now go through your 40s and be diagnosed with, breast cancer and all these hormone related issues, and then having to have hysterectomies and, all these things in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. Yeah. So let's talk about it, because I do remember you told me that. You said, I've been likened to Medusa. Like, your hormones were really raging when you started working with me. And you had a meltdown when you were cleaning, remember? We'll talk about that. But before we talk about, we get to the good results on what happened, because this is so exciting. So I see a couple of our beautiful sisters are on watching. We have Crystal, we have Sharon, we have Anastasia. Thank you, sisters, for coming on and watching. I hope you all are enjoying the story. Just wait till you hear the rest of this sister's story. This is so amazing. So thank you all for coming in to stopping in to watch. Now, did you know anything about holistic healing or try any other things prior to working with me?
So I sort of had dabbled on my own.
Okay.
When we first met, I was taking a lot of supplements. Some herbal, some not herbal. Like, I was trying to fix the problem. Like, I knew that there was a solution that was not medication or something drastic, right? Like a surgery or something. So I'll say I dabbled, but I never really committed, and I never had enough knowledge to really make an informed program or plan. Like, I never made any progress with any of the things I was trying. So yeah, I mean, I am familiar with a more natural lifestyle, but not in a committed way until really finding you and joining you.
I love that, because it's a journey, right? And so the fact, however you start on this journey is how you start. The fact that you were already starting to say, there's got to be something I can do. I don't want to just be taking, HRTs and, medications and things like that. There's something, because a doctor will try and put you on something for depression or anxiety or something like that, right? They're not getting to the root cause of it. I know so many women have come to me with severe hormonal disorders, and they're on all this medication for depression and things like that. And we fix the hormonal imbalance, And there's no need for all of that, right? So the fact that you, even though you did not know what to do, you were searching tells me that you were starting on that journey. You were already, I didn't have to convince you that natural measures can work and that your body can heal. You knew that there was something that you could do, you just didn't know how. Is that
That's right.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100%. Yeah.
Love that. So what motivated you to start to work with me and join the Health Reset program?
Well, I think just that, right? Like I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. And it had gotten so bad that, like I said, we were considering like how can we manage this so that it's not ruining our relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that got, it was getting really bad. It was getting really bad. So it was just at a
Wow.
point where I needed to do something about it. And yeah, that sometimes happens, right? There's like a catalyst for change. And we connected and end of story, right?
And here we are. Just
We're
wait till we get
beginning
to, wait till
of
we,
story.
yes, there we go. There we go. So you, if I recall, because this was around in January, I started you after I met with you because that's how I do with every single sister. We always have a meeting to see if I can help you, right? And I always tell everybody, I say, there's nothing that I have not been able to help a sister to heal her body. I've seen everything from A to Z. Seriously, anything that you can think of from A to Z, I've seen and helped. Over 2,000 people, I've seen everything. But it's always, if we're going to be able to work together, are you going to be coachable? Are you going to allow me to lead you to better health, right? And so after our meeting, and you told me what was going on, and I told you I could help you, and you breathed a sigh of relief, like, oh my God, you can help me. And then I said, well, I want to start you first on the 21-day detox.
Yeah.
Right. And so I told you, I said, the 21-day detox is an amazing program. You're going to start to see some healing in your body. Let's see how your body responds. And then I'll know where to continue, because the 21-day detox is just an introduction. You're going to see some amazing your body start to turn around. You're going to be so excited about the delicious food you're eating, but you have to continue on something, right? And the detox is just that. It's not a long-term eating plan. So you do need something else. So talk about your experience with the 21-day detox, and then as you went on into the Health Reset program.
Okay. So, it's 222, by the way. I love that.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
in my area.
Oh, okay. 322 here.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I remember the first phone call with you, and I just want to touch on that just for a moment, because I had never met with anybody who strongly, with conviction, could tell me, I know how to help you. And I feel like I'm gonna get emotional right now, because just to hear that when you're going through this mess it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to hear. So thank you for telling me that. And right, like it's powerful to know that the person on the other side is sure that they can help you. It's amazing. So thank you. Big hug.
That's you too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to meet in person one day.
Absolutely. Okay, so the 21-day detox. Yeah, so we started there. And I really committed myself to that 21-day detox. So when you told me you could help me, I was like, yes, let's do it, because this isn't working. I want this to change. So I was very committed to making this work. So that detox, I literally did exactly what you told me to do every day, every moment, every meal, like whatever was going into my mouth during that time was what you told me to put in my mouth. So very committed. And by the end, and the food is so good, right? Like, I think the reason why what you have created works so well is not only the science behind the food, but also your recipes are phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because food, right, like food is it's emotional. Like we want to eat something that's good. So I don't want to eat yucky stuff for 21 days. So like the fact that the food was good made it easier to be very committed to what we were doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely have my favorites, by the way, like that I still do today. I have favorites. So by the end of that, my hip pain was gone. That was just from the detox. My hip pain was gone. That's 4 years of living with that every night in bed going, oh, this is annoying. This hurts. Like, let me get an ibuprofen, whatever. 4 years of that gone. And still gone. My digestive system, which I did not even know was as bad as it was. Right. I really didn't honestly know. I don't think we talk about that enough in our country, in our society. Like we don't actually talk about poop that much, right? So I didn't know how constipated I truly was until that detox. And I was like, what? Right? Eyes open. I felt like that was amazing. It feels so much better. Go ahead.
If I recall, I just want to interject right there because I
Yeah.
believe you were the person that told me that you were maybe twice or 2 to 3 times a week you were going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and I was like, and I told you, I was like, Alex, that's not like, we got to get you like, you're supposed to be going at least, you're supposed to go 2 to 3 times a day, but even at least just once. And you were like, I never even heard of that. And that reminded me because I was the same when I was in my 20s. Somebody told me I was supposed to go every day. And I was like, ew, who does that?
Yeah. I had no idea. Like I truly did not know that. And I am a person who reads about health and I still didn't know that. So that was, yeah, you're right. It was like I was going probably 2 to 3 times a week on a good week. Well, I remember just like a little side note. I remember being pregnant with my second daughter. I got so constipated. I don't think I went to the bathroom for a month, Doreen. And the doctor was like, this is a problem, right? Because you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And they had to actually give me something to make me go. Yeah.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So so even just in a 21-day detox, your hip pains went away. You started to become regular.
Yeah.
And I do want to add that because you were my client, because on the 21-day detox, I don't give herbal teas. Like it's not personalized at all, right? The 21-day detox is just a general cleanse to show people that eating healthy can taste good and you're going to feel better, right? So I'm introducing you to plant-based healing foods. But when you work with me one-on-one and you become my client, which is not through the 21-day detox, that's through the health reset. That's when I give you herbs specifically for you, food specifically for you. So even though I had you doing the 21-day detox, I had you starting on herbs for hormonal health as well, right? And so you did amazing during that 21-day detox. You did good. You started to see that your body could heal and you started to see healing. Now we had this big, huge elephant in the room that was going to take a lot longer because I always tell people for every year that you've been sick, it's going to take at least a month, usually, of natural health practices. So what I see people do is do the 21 days, feel better, and then fall off or go backwards, right? And then not only does your issues come back, but then it's worse, right? More issues. So we did the 21 days, but we had this big elephant, which was the hormonal disorder. That was the huge elephant to tackle, right? Now, what happened with your hormones? Let's talk about that because that was a mountain to climb.
Yes. Yeah. So that was why I joined, right? Like all those other things were just things that I probably should have been addressing, but they weren't the elephant. The elephant was the hormones. And during the detox, that didn't change at all, right? It was, like you said, it needed more time and it needed more
Personal.
nurturing,
Yeah.
right? Personalization. It needed that like customized approach.
Yeah.
So when I came into the health reset, it took, I'm like trying to remember. I think it took about 2.5 months. Is that your memory too? Before I started seeing a difference. And
Yeah.
I remember the first time what really triggered it was I got my period and I didn't know it was coming.
Yeah.
It surprised me.
Which was
Like,
shocking for you because you had,
yes.
like, you had 2 weeks prior to your cycle where your life was like turned upside down and you were almost either going to have to go hide in the mountains. You know, in the Bible, they talk about that, like the women would go hide in the mountains when they would come on their time. Like, we joke about it, but it was serious. Like, your husband was starting to say, look, you're going to have to go get an Airbnb or something else. We're going to end up in divorce or something, right?
Was it? It was, it was severe. Yeah.
Yeah. So now after 2 months of natural health practices with specific food and herbs for your body, your cycle snuck up on you without you knowing it.
Yes.
But wait a minute, sister, because I remember the meltdown. Do you mind us talking about that? If you don't want us to talk about it, we don't have to.
Remind me, because I don't know if I remember.
Okay.
We can totally talk about it. I'm an open book. Let's talk about it.
That's good. Okay. So I just want everyone that's watching to know that I never discuss anyone's personal health concerns unless you give me permission. So I just want you to know that everything that we talk about is always 100% confidential. I don't discuss it with mutual friends, family members, church members. I can help a husband and a wife, and I would not discuss with the husband what the wife is going through or vice versa. So the only way I will discuss it is if you give me permission. So, Alex, you called me and you left me a message. I don't know if you called me or left me a Facebook message, probably Facebook message. And you were crying, like you were very hormonal. And you were like, you were having a severe meltdown. And it was in the middle, and it was in the middle of your hormones healing, right? Your liver was starting to break up all these toxins and excess estrogen. I told you it was going to be a very, very rocky road because it had been years of excess estrogen. So you called me and you were like, you were extremely, like your hormones were you were probably at the peak of it. And you were like, I don't know what's going on, And I said, listen, we are at, like, you're about to have a breakthrough. That estrogen has your liver has now is starting to detoxify the excess estrogen and it's coming out. You broke out in pimples. Yep. Remember, you were like, I hadn't broke out in pimples in a while. So as that excess estrogen that was backed up in your body was starting to leave the body, it wreaked havoc on you. Yeah. And I told you, I said, we changed the herbs. I gave you more food, different foods to support you during this time. I gave you different herbs. We were there. I was there for you. Like, I held your hand through it. And that was the last time you had that, because the very next month you were like, oh my God, like my cycle snuck up on me. And that's been 3 months now. You've had 3 cycles since. So tell us about, like, how have they been?
Yeah. Well, at first it was funny when it started repeating. The first time I was like, is this real? Like, maybe this is just a fluke. Yeah, I don't know if I believe this. And then it happened again. And I was like, oh.
You mean, so you had, like, the second month, your cycle snuck up on you again with no problems, no pain, no breakouts, no hormonal disorders. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I was totally, at that point, because the first one I was in denial, right? Like, maybe this is working, but it can't be working that well, right?
Yes.
And then it happened again, right? It repeated. Yeah. So, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. We were at the point where we needed to separate during my cycle. Yeah. And now, like, in fact, I don't think I've even told you this. It was maybe 2 months ago, or maybe a month ago. I was on my cycle and I hadn't told anybody. I hadn't told anybody. My husband didn't know. And he came up to me and he's like, I just want to tell you, like, you're so beautiful and you're in such a beautiful mood lately. And like all these compliments on me. And I was like,
Wow.
do you know I'm on my cycle right now?
And he's like,
And he
what?
started, yeah, he was like in shock, like his mouth hit the floor because
Oh,
that's not how it's been. We've been married for 10 years, 10 plus years, and it's not been like that ever
ever.
in our marriage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. That is absolutely profound. Because that, like you just said something, sisters, I hope you hear this. Because when you heal your body, you're not, and that's one of the questions I ask when I'm speaking to women. So I asked you, how will healing yourself affect those around you? Because you being sick, us as mothers, as wives, us being consistently sick or dealing with whatever illness we're dealing with is more stressful on the family than it is on us. You know, my son told me after, now that I'm healed and I have no health concerns, he's like, yeah, mom, we were always like very stressed out. Like we didn't know. Like my husband begged me to have the hysterectomy because he could not stand to see me so sick. Like that is very stressful on them. So you have saved your relationship with your husband, your children by choosing yourself, by sacrificing. And it's not a sacrifice because you have to eat anyway, right? So why not eat good, delicious foods that's specifically for you? That's the thing. You're not going to know what to do because, and I'm saying this to everyone, like you don't know what to do. You can go read up on it. You can go on YouTube and watch some videos. You're going to get more and more confused because there's so much information that says you should do this. And then there's some that say you shouldn't. And then you have so much conflicting information, right? And it's not personalized for you. So why not choose yourself, work with someone that can work with you for your health conditions, your height, your weight, your blood type, give you foods and herbs, and this is the result. So we're going to start to wrap it up, but were there any, let's talk about the Raynaud's disease, because I just want to tell you that Raynaud's disease it's just all a progression because it's autoimmune, right? That's what it is. It's autoimmune, right? So your immune system is now starting to attack the body because your liver is not functioning properly, right? So it's a domino effect. So each one of these things that you were dealing with, you could have had medication or surgery for, and that would just fix maybe that symptom right there, but not the root cause. So it was going to show up somewhere else. So you said that the Raynaud's disease, like the symptoms that you're experiencing are completely gone. Talk about that briefly.
Oh yeah, they're gone. It started when we were all in the lockdown. So that's when it actually started for me because I started working from home and I was sitting for prolonged periods of time instead of standing and walking as a teacher. So my feet would get cold. That's when it started. And it just got worse from there. And like I said, during the 21-day detox, it was gone.
Wow.
It was gone. Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and it has not resurfaced. So it used to be even in the summer, my feet would still get cold when I was working, when I wasn't like walking and doing. And now I can sit like I'm sitting right now at my desk for hours and nothing. Yeah, it's gone.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So what aspects of the program did you find the most beneficial or effective? Was it the food and the herbs or the support or?
All of it, Doreen. The food I think is the most, right? Like probably the biggest thing, because I think so many of us don't actually know how to eat, right? And so not only are you giving us this customized experience, but you're also teaching us through the process how to eat, right? Like how to eat in order to maintain health. So I think that was huge for me. And then the herbs, I think, made an enormous difference once we started incorporating those. And I knew, right, like, because I was kind of trying that before, but I didn't know what I was doing. So the fact that you gave me specific herbs as well as how much of it to use, right? That's a key piece because no one is telling you that when you're experimenting. You're just kind of playing with it. So that was amazing. And then the support is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was just talking with you yesterday, and you were telling me about how you told me always try to eat when you're sitting down, right? Sit down to eat. And I was like, why? Like, why? Because I'm on the go, right? I've got 2 kids. I'm running a business. I'm on the go. Sometimes I'm eating and doing, whatever it is at the same time. It's like a right? Trying to get more things done. So for me, when you said that, I was like, why would I do that? Right. And then you said to me, when you sit down to eat your meal, it helps your body understand that it's safe and you can come out of fight and flight, which is what you're doing when you're go, 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 go. And you said that, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then this morning, I was thinking about this. Your body, right? You told me that your body won't actually digest food properly when you're in fight or flight. That's why we're sitting down to eat, so that when you sit down to eat, your body is like, okay, it's time to digest. Yeah. So I was thinking about that this morning, and I was like, oh, maybe that's why I've been constipated for years and years and years. Because we didn't go into this, but I'm just like, well, let's share, right? I have trauma in my background, in my childhood. There's quite a bit of trauma. So fight or flight feels like a natural, like it's natural almost, because I've been doing it for so long. And I think this morning when I was thinking about this, it dawned on me, I don't need to be in that anymore. That's one thing. Yeah. And that might be the cause of being constipated for so many years, because I'm never truly at rest.
Yeah, your central nervous system is always on alert. Yeah.
Yeah. So you asked about support. I mean, let's talk about support, right? Like that's amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you, sister. And that's phenomenal that you said that, because we were talking about your follow-up now and your maintenance care yesterday. And you just never know when you're working with someone that's in that field. You just never know what's going to come out. That's just how it works, right? That's just how the spirit works. Things come out that you need. I think I was discussing myself, because I had another meeting right after yours, and I had some nuts and raisins sitting here. And I was like, I got to eat these, but I got to wait until we're after this call, and I'm going to sit and eat these mindfully. And that's when I said, usually back in the day, I would just grab nuts and raisins and just pop them in my mouth and be talking on the phone and moving around and rushing around. And your body's not even absorbing those nutrients because you're in a state of fight or flight. Yeah. And that's the whole part. And when I said that, you were like, oh my God, and then we started talking about how that could play into your digestive disorders and this and that. So when you're working with someone in this industry, things are just going to come out, tidbits that land right where they need to be, because that's what you needed, right? Because I don't think I had specifically said to you, are you eating in fight or flight? But that makes sense. I mean, you're a mother with 2 young children. You're a coach. You're always on the go. You're carpooling. You're doing all this stuff. I'm sure you probably, so yeah, that's amazing. And that's what, like you said, the support, because when you're working with me as your natural health counselor, we're meeting consistently. I'm checking up with you. How are you doing? Okay, this has healed. Good. All right, now let's change your food and herbs, because now we need to tackle this issue. So it's an ongoing journey, right? And I talk about that. It took 6 months for my fibroids to completely heal. A lot of people, if I did the 21-day detox, or even if I just did the 3 months, after 4 months, when I went back, 2 of the fibroids were gone, but I still had 2 left. Now, if I had just stopped and when I'm back to my old path or trying to do things on my own, I probably would have grown the fibroids back and had other health conditions. But now 14 years later, 12 to 14, I always get my times mixed up, but years later, the fibroids never came back. My health has only went up and there's no health conditions, right? So I said it to say, you can't go backwards. And that's what I told you. I said, Alex, we're not going backwards. Our goal is for you to never have those hormonal issues again, right? And so now, how do you, well, I'm going to ask you two more questions as we begin to wrap up. What advice would you give to someone who is considering joining the Health Reset program that might be hesitant, maybe because of the cost, or maybe they think they're too busy? What would you tell them?
Well, first of all, just do it. I mean, stop hesitating. Stop hesitating. If you're actually looking at this because there's something wrong that's harming you, right? That's hurting you, that you're looking and talking to doctors about, or that's affecting your relationships with the people around you, then stop thinking about it and just do it. What she's doing is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And like I said, it's not just that what she gives you works, it also tastes good. So if you've tried something before, like a fad diet or whatever, there's so many different diets out there that say that they're going to do something. And then they taste awful, and then they don't do what they're supposed to do. Like, this works 100%, and it tastes good, and it teaches you how to continue, right? Like, you're building skills so that you can continue on the path. Yeah. So for those reasons, like, just stop hesitating and do it. And what did you say? You asked me, like, what if they're worried about X and Y? What were those things?
Like, if they say that they don't have the finances or the time.
Yeah, find the money. Find the money.
Yeah. We're resourceful. Women, we're resourceful.
Be resourceful. Find the money. I add up the things that you are subscribed to and unsubscribe from a few, right? Like, how many things do we subscribe to that we don't even remember that we're subscribed to? Look at your phone bill and your cable bill and say, okay, great. Is it worth that my health is declining to keep one of those, right? Like, just find the funds. If it's your health and the relationships around you, then there should be no barrier of an investment.
Yeah. And you said, I want to say after your 5th or 6th month, I think in June, we were on a coaching call together, and I had said something about the cost of my program. And you said, your program should be way more than what it is. You told me that, remember?
Oh, 100%.
Like, for the results that you get, this is really like you're giving so much of your time for really not a lot of compensation.
Yeah.
You said that to me.
I did. I'll say it again right here. Like, I truly believe that you should be charging more for what you're doing. You're changing lives, right? You're changing someone's life. Someone comes in, like I came in with all of these issues, but not only the issues, but the surrounding, drama around the issues, which was my marriage, which was my kids. And because of what you're doing, it has changed my life, right? Like, that is worth something. I do believe you should raise your prices. So if you're watching right now and you want to do this, you better do it, because she's going to raise her prices. She may not, but
yeah, I just really want to help. I always tell people, if I was a millionaire, if I was rich, I really would travel the world just helping people heal their bodies. Like, seriously, I would do this. This is what it's about. So that's my last question for you as we wrap up. How do you plan to maintain your health and continue your progress? And the reason why I ask that is because, again, I've helped over 2,000 people. There's only a small percentage that really maintains it and continues. And there's a certain reason why, right? Because a lot of times people, they've done my 21 days. You'll see that over and over. People like, I did your 21 days. I felt the best I ever felt, and now 10 years later, like, they've now had surgeries, been diagnosed with cancer, and now they're coming back. So how do you plan to maintain your health and continue your progress since you're done?
Yeah. So I'll be very frank with everyone. There are a couple areas that really were a struggle for me and continue to be. So regardless of all of the beautiful food, I still really missed some things, right? And so I've tried already to maintain myself and am not doing that well, maintaining, right? I'm not there yet. I've learned so much, but I'm still not at the point where I feel like I can go day to day in my very busy life and be able to maintain it. So how am I going to maintain it? I'm going to stay with you.
There you
That's what
go.
I'm going to do.
Maintenance. Yeah. And when we talked, I think it was yesterday, the day before we talked, we had our once a month meeting. And I said, Alex, I said, you stay on the maintenance program. You're going to still have a meeting with me every month. Every month, we're going to address what's going on. I'm going to give you a menu and a shopping list. So that's going to change because your issues change, right? Your moods change, your health changes. So you're going to have, and you breathe a sigh. You were so excited about it in the call, like, yes, this is what I need. Because
Yes.
you said you can really stay focused when you have, it's one thing for me to tell you a list of foods that work for you, like eat these foods, this, and that. But for me to give you a menu for Alex, that menu is for you. It's not for anybody else. So here's now your menu and your shopping list. And you know, so now when you have your two children, you go out to the store and buy what's on that list. And you know, if you stick to this, that you're going to continue to get better and better and better and maintain your health. Like you were so happy about that.
I'm still happy about it. Yeah. I like grocery shopping is the worst.
Yeah.
And meal planning, right? Like meal planning and grocery shopping are such time consuming things, especially when you have kids and you're bringing the 2-year-old and the 4-year-old into the grocery store. Anyway, super excited about that. Yes, absolutely. It's game changer.
And the group coaching is phenomenal. Just meeting every week with the ladies that are healing their bodies on the Health Reset. Like our oldest client, you've met her, Miss Annie. She's 8. She's our most seasoned client. I'll say that. And she's in her 80s, and she is just healing so amazingly. And our youngest sister on there is 25, and she's just been phenomenal. She has been a shining example of how healing your body can be. So I mean, I have clients from 25 to 80. And we're all just a community. So just that group support too each week when we meet and, do those coaching sessions are phenomenal. Alex, it's been such a pleasure. I'm very excited that you are staying connected to the community because, again, you're a whole vibe and energy you bring. We have Teresa on. She just joined us. So welcome, beautiful sister. I see Jacqueline is on too. Welcome, beautiful sister. So she said something and then so Jacqueline said, I had a friend who was a doctor tell me a long time ago that it was okay if you didn't go every day, talking about poop. Mm-hmm. At the time, I accepted that. And I think I was glad to hear that because I wasn't going every day. Wow. Mm-hmm. Once I changed my eating habits and went plant-based, I realized she didn't know what she was talking about. Mm-hmm. I go every day unless I'm eating something I shouldn't be. That's phenomenal, right? You are supposed to go every day. Think of it. Look at the animals, dogs and cats. They go every time they eat. Every time they eat. So, that's nature can kind of show you how we're supposed to function and behave, So, Alex, it's been a pleasure. And yeah, I'm excited to continue to work with you as we continue to keep you on track and your health just gets better and better. Thank you for sharing your story. And I do want to correct something when I was saying your marriage and I said the word divorce. I didn't mean it like that. I was saying that it was becoming, like you were going to have to separate yourself, for a couple of weeks. So definitely, I didn't mean that divorce. I didn't mean that literally. But again, I'm just so happy that you helping, healing yourself naturally has really changed everything around you and your attitude and the way you deal with things. So that's amazing. So thank you so much for being so candid and open and sharing your story. And ladies, if you would like to have a consultation with me so we can talk about what your health concerns are so that I can see, if this is a fit and if I can work with you, then consult in the comments below, consultation, and we'll reach out to you and give you a link to schedule an appointment with me. Thank you all so much for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. We hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day. And Alexandra, thank you so much for sharing your story and being so open.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and inspiring. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. If you have any questions or you want to share your own experience, leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. For more tips and updates, follow us on Facebook at My Wellness, My Life, Natural Healing for Women 40 and above. Until next time, stay healthy and take care.